Hello, my name is Ben, and I'm happy. I start every video with that, and it's always just been like a mantra for me, no matter what's going on in my life. As soon as I hit record on that button, I do my clap to sync up my audio. It's always been something that makes me happy, like being in front of a camera for whatever reason. And maybe that's because we've grown up a lot on social media, we've grown up a lot on camera. Maybe it's my love for, I don't know, making little home videos, making music videos, making videos with my brother and sister. There's just something about it that I'll automatically become happy. So I suppose I said that to myself and it just became a thing. And that's now just how I always start a video. It feels weird to not. I do reaction videos on YouTube. If you have ever seen me, you've seen me react to music. If you've never seen me, because this is not a reaction video, it's such a totally different type of video, then hello, my name is Ben and I'm happy. I used to do these videos like years ago, maybe like 10 years ago. That's when I used to do like random YouTube stuff. And I suppose I never had the conviction to really just believe in myself to do things or just to do it. And that's always been my advice now when people ask me about reaction videos. They're like, how did you start? What did you do? And I always just say to them, just do it. So I suppose I've got to believe in myself because I wanted to do some just sit down chat videos for a while. And I've put it off because I think I've just felt so pigeonholed in reaction videos because that's what I enjoy doing. I love doing them and people love, well, I'm saying people love watching them. That's the feedback I generally get. Sometimes it's not that they love watching them. So I figured that's just what people want. And, you know, when you obviously have to then go into algorithms and views, which I try not to focus on because it really does get you down, you then go, well, they only want this from me. So that's all I can give them. But I figure I'm just going to chat because this is like my psych sessions. This is what I used to do when I was younger. I used to just talk my thoughts out. I usually write them down. I usually just talk to myself a lot. And maybe that's why I have some one-sided opinions on things. But my favorite thing about this year in 2024, there's no script here. I've literally nothing written. So I don't know how edited I'll have to do this, like how much I'll stumble or whatever. It's really just me chatting about the thoughts that are in my head. And I'll try not to get sidetracked. Also, where's my Red Bull? If you don't know me, I'm an addict. Ooh la la. Boom. Mm-mm-mm. Honestly, it's just so good. I also drink a lot of water, so, you know, don't come at me for blah, 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 aspartame, all that jazz. That's another whole saga and life thing that we can chat about some other day. 2024, my favorite thing. What was my favorite thing? What was I even talking about? What a great start. I remember now. It has been challenging myself, my beliefs, my views in both sides, because I really do believe now that you have to listen to both sides. You have to be able to listen to people who differ from your opinion. I think that I struggled with that a lot when I was growing up. I was like, as soon as I had an idea or a thought or a passion or a moral compass, you know, wherever it pointed, I championed that no matter what, and I would just, you know, shout, abuse, and all that. And it just never got you anywhere because, you know, people aren't just going to change your mind because you're shouting at them. So I'm a firm believer on really challenging your own beliefs and being able to listen to someone who doesn't believe in that. And I suppose that really came from going to university like the last 3.5 years. I graduated this year, but boom, so exciting, so cool, such a great fulfillment and achievement. Don't like the debt that came with it, but you know, I wouldn't have been able to grow and do what I'm doing now if I hadn't have done it. So I am so thankful for it. I did a double major and then ended up minoring. So I did human resource management, which I love. I love that side of it, which people either go, I can see you doing it, or how the hell are you, you know, passionate about that stuff? But I think my main thing is about leading, motivating, training, all that stuff with people, following policies and procedures, all that jazz, which I think, you know, obviously HR is involved. But I ended up minoring in Indigenous studies, which if you're in Australia, if you're not Australian, or if you are Australian, I mean, you might not know, but it's such an inherently racist country. And for me, I really wanted to challenge the beliefs that I've had, that I've, you know, grown up with. And it was probably the best thing I've ever done in my life. And I can't speak highly enough of just being able to learn about the history of where you live, the people who were here before you, what's happened, to hear a different perspective and to, again, challenge everything that you've been taught, which is so confronting. And there's been so many snippets and great things that I've watched or like recognized from people. And I guess the biggest thing, or like the best, I'm now going New Zealander. The best thing I watched, it was this, I can't remember who it was, I do apologize, but it was this lady who said, I'm not afraid of being called a racist because I am. Hang on, don't like clip it, don't get, you know, you just gotta listen. She then said, because it allows me the ability to recognize the past things that I've been taught, learned, and said, and be able to grow from it. So now she's not afraid of being it because, yes, I have been that, and I'm working on changing it or challenging those beliefs or working on being a better person, because I think that word has just become so toxic in how it's thrown around rather than being able to teach people. So that's what I learned the most this year, I guess over the last 3.5 years, but I suppose 2024 for me has just been about realizing stuff, Kylie Jenner quote, and reaffirming things that I've believed or thought about within myself. 3 years seems to be like a thing for me. A relationship I was in ended after just over 3 years. So yeah, pretty similar to my uni, I guess. Like uni was that comfort and that structure, and then once that left, I don't know, maybe I had more time to focus on other things. But that broke down, and while it was such an amazing relationship, it's always like those reflective moments when you're like, it should have ended earlier. I mean, God, in February, I had Taylor Swift's You're Losing Me on repeat. Like, I played it probably like 200 times. The song is heartbreaking and just such a depiction of what was happening in my own thought process. And I suppose for me, that relationship was one of the, best relationships I've ever been in. It was the longest relationship. It was the most healthy in terms of comparing it to everything else. So I suppose for me, I wanted to push through those insecurities, those toxic traits to run or anything like that. And I'm proud of not running. And I'm also proud of like honoring how I was feeling at that time. I think I'm someone who really is in tune with how they feel and allow myself to feel the things I'm feeling. If I'm sad, I'm sad. If I'm happy, I'm happy. And I'm never going to close myself off to something else just because someone or something hurt me. And I think that's something that is really like awesome to have. Whew. Side note, it is 36 degrees in Australia. This room has no aircon. Even if it did, it'd be too loud for the mic. There's like 3 lights. It's so hot. I was going to end up like a sweaty, hot, ratty mess. But it feels good. It feels good to talk. And if you're not a talker, like in terms of you don't like talking to people, talk to yourself. Honestly, looking in the mirror and just talking, like if this was just a mirror me talking, while it may sound crazy, I honestly think it's the best therapy because you kind of can process your own thoughts because you are just talking to yourself and you can challenge it. And it really just makes you think. If you don't want to go, if you don't want to go see someone, if you don't want to talk to a friend, I encourage you to talk to yourself because already I just feel lighter, I feel happier, and I feel more confident in what I'm doing in life, which is wild because I guess I'm doing nothing that would be expected of us. And I read something else is that people in their 20s and 30s, we're comparing our lives to our parents or, a generation before it where the world just was not the same as that. So it's impossible to say where you should be in life. And I know society's telling you where you should be, and we have all these societal pressures. The biggest thing you have to do is challenge that. And it's really yourself, not society. You don't have to challenge society. You don't have to go against the grain in that sense. You have to challenge your own thoughts and where you thought you should be, and then realize that, well, how could you possibly be there in the world that we're in today? I also recognize within myself the privilege I have. I still live at home. So the ability that I had to leave full-time work in a job that I was really good at, loved, had the opportunity to grow, but also was suffocating, was drowning, was burnt out due to, what was happening in 2020, 2021, all that jazz. And I think that would be a cool thing to talk about too. There's just so many things I could talk about. But I suppose for me, I was, and I still am in such a privileged position. And I recognize that. And I'm going, well, if I am in this position, why wouldn't I take the advantages? Like, why would I stay in a job where I'm not happy, where I could leave, I could do something I've never done, challenge my fear of schooling, educational environments, study, get a double major, and then just randomly do YouTube. While, again, this has always been in my blood. Like, I used to make home videos with my brother and sister. So the ability just to start reacting, something I've always watched, I love watching reactors. I was like, I just got to do it. And I've just got to realize that the internet isn't made for your friends. It's made for the 7 billion people out there. Because if you're embarrassed, if you care what people think, you're not going to be able to cut it because you're just never going to be your authentic self. I know that's so easy to say. It's like, I'm so authentic, I'm so real. This is a part of me, and there's also lots of other facets, So everything for me is genuine in what I display. It can also just be hidden at times because, obviously not everyone is this way on a camera. You automatically get a bit of oomph in you anyway. So yeah, if you've got privilege, honor it. accept it. If there's, obviously with it, there's a spectrum of the privilege that you have. And I think, do what you can if you want to be a good person to other people or help other people out. But also recognize that maybe the way you are is because of, other people. And I think just honor and respect that. I also think living at home, while it's awesome and I get along so with my family, there's that constant like struggle of power because you want your independence, you want to do everything on your own, you want to have your own house, you want to do this, you want to do that, and you're like, I wouldn't be able to on my own. So you're so grateful, for your family for being able to allow you to stay at home with them, but you're also struggling those inner thoughts of, oh my God, just effing leave me alone. So that is such a wild struggle in itself because you're feeling guilty for thinking that and you're trying to like respect that you're getting such an advantage in life. It's wild. It's a mind fuck and it's something you like always battle with. And that can be just anything. I think it's hard when you have to be grateful for something, but you also are annoyed by it as well. So it's like a social, what do they call it? Like a parasocial relationship in terms of what you've got with your home life. I'm jumping now. Reacting is wild. The fact that I can be on a camera, listen to music, people will watch it. I understand vibing. I understand reactions. And when I explain it to people, I guess they don't really explain it. And I suppose I talk it down a little bit. I usually just say, I just do some social media stuff. I never claim to be a YouTuber because I don't think I'm at that status where it warrants it. I've got like 28,000 subs. And while that is so incredible, so amazing, and without downplaying it, because obviously I put in the work, I've been doing this for like nearly 4 years on YouTube. And while there's been people who have just like flown past you or whatever, if you compare it, it is what it is. But I think that's amazing and I'm so proud. Like the stuff I've got from YouTube, like is just stuff I never thought I would get. However, I still do downplay. I'm like, I just do reaction videos when they ask, what type of social media. And they're always like, oh, can I check it out? I'll be like, if you don't watch it, you won't get it. It's not for you. My channel isn't made for you. However, I totally get watching it. Me and my brother watch so many reaction videos and it's really just showing someone something that you love because you want to see them experience it for the first time and connect with them. And, because there are so many people out there, you have the ability to reach so many people, which is wild. Like, and I guess you don't really think about it because even 1,000 views, that's 1,000 people. If you were to put them in a room, you'd just be like, what the hell? I don't know. Would you be as confident speaking in front of 1,000 people? I reckon I could do it. I would struggle with the editing because I am such an editor now. It's so easy to just be like, all right, let me redo that. That's, I think, you just get more confident on in general. However, the fact that people pay me to do it is wild and blows my mind. And I suppose that has built my confidence so much more with YouTube because I'm like, well, there's actually people who are willing to part with their money that they've earned because they want to hear my opinion or see my reaction or connect with me or just connect with me, I suppose, which literally gives me goosebumps and chills. It's wild. That is wild, right? And that is why the internet is so insane because we have the ability for this. And I suppose that's why I don't want to go straight into full-time work. I said this year I was definitely not doing it. I was going to chill. I've just graduated. I've just done 3.5 years. And while I still have people who enjoy me and want to watch me, why would I sacrifice that? Because this makes me happy. The amount of music I've found, honestly, has saved my life in so many scenarios. Like there's artists that have been the soundtrack to heartbreak, to excitement, to fun, and I would never have had that without, people recommending me or requesting and things like that. And this isn't some plug to jump on my Patreon, but all my uncuts are there. So if you want to watch anything, you can do that. I think it's just so humbling, confidence building, and something I never really thought. I've seen so many people have patrons or do this or do that, or you're watching them, you're like, I want that to be me. And I suppose the biggest thing you're wanting is that connection. And I think anyone who does YouTube or creative stuff is just craving that connection because you haven't had it somewhere along in life. And I suppose for me, I've always been that outsider per se, growing up kid who never really fit in, who now feels like you kind of wasted some of your best years not being confident. However, I don't know if I would have done what I've done if I hadn't done what I've done. It's a tale as old as time, is that you only know what you know now. And I'm always a big believer on this is exactly where you're meant to be at this very moment. So everything I've learned, everything that's built up has given me the confidence to be able to just be myself in the most me I possibly can, while still having to accommodate to what society wants me to be. And I also watched this dude who said, we kind of don't really know who we are because the people we've become have been influenced, or, you know, we've been controlled, or we've been molded, or we've had to change like how we act or how we do things because of the environments we're in or the people we're around. So then I'm like, who really are we? And what an existential like question, because I know who I am, and I'd say I'm pretty self-confident, and I know, you know, my flaws, I know my pros, my cons, my areas of development, my strengths. And then I think, but there is still a part of me that I don't show or I'm not like, and I know why. Is because as you're growing up, you're told not to do those things or not to be like that, which is wild to think about if you're such a confident person. But I'm like, have you not compromised some of who you are to be who you are now? Wild. What a ramble, what a rant. It's been 17 minutes already. I don't know how many people will watch. It really doesn't matter because this is kind of for me. And if you connect and if you resonate and if you have stuff to say, the best thing. I've always said doing my channel that if one person watches and is affected or connects or is inspired or is motivated or wants to challenge it, then really that's all you want in life, right? And I have that with my friends. So I guess I'm branching out and really doing stuff I was doing when I was like in my early 20s, is chatting to a camera about the most random things that have come into my head. And now I'm putting it out to you. I don't know what I've said. I'll obviously replay it. I'll edit it where it needs to be so it's kind of smooth for you to watch. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below. Anything. Give me some topics if you want to see more of me just chatting to a camera, chatting to you. If you don't. But there's really nothing else for me to say other than I hope you are having a great day wherever you are. And I'm going to have a great day wherever I am. And I also recognize that life is not like perfect. I'm not a perfect person in terms of my mood. I'm generally maybe a half glass empty, or I call it a realist. I think I'm pretty real in terms of what I like, and I'm quite strong in who I am. So yeah, I'm keen to hear from you guys about anything really. And again, this encourages you to just do whatever you want to do. I've got a reaction channel and most of my videos are reaction, and I know like you have people going, oh, changing your video content is like damaging. It's like, whatever. Honestly, whatever. I'm only here once, so if I never recorded this, I've just had this gut feeling to just talk to a camera. I've had it my whole life. So I'm really just going to push myself to keep doing it. And I hope you keep pushing yourself to do whatever you want to do. It's never too late to change your life. And I understand that not everyone's in the position to be able to do that. But if you are, just do it. Oh, I'm soaked in sweat. I'm going to go. Hope you're having a good day. I'm going to go down. Ben is going to